What's up, YouTube? It's Monty. I'm back again today. It is hot as fuck right now, so I'm gonna try and get through these as fast as possible. If you see this outfit again, it's because some of these books and that I'm about to do for my library / May TBR haul thing, I've read, so I might just film those reviews while I sit here. That might be a thing. I'll give a synopsis for some of them I won't, because it's like the next in a series, or they're just super popular and people have talked about them enough on BookTube where I don't need to tell you what they're about, because you know what they're about, and when I'm done reading them and I get to my opinions, I'll talk about it then. So first, I have Maggie Stiefvater's The Dream Thieves. It's the second book in the Raven cycle. The first book I read in like March, I want to say, maybe February, I don't know. I'll leave a link down to the Goodreads page, everything down below. But it's the second book. I thought the first book was okay, so this is pretty low on my list to get to this month, but I checked it out because I don't own that one. So if I want to read it, I gotta check it out. Next, I have Kristen Lauren's Autoboyography. This is one of the books I read. Technically, I read this in April, so it shouldn't count for my May TBR, but since it's also like a library haul situation, I'm not going to make a separate video. Like, you're getting it now. I read it. It was good. I recommend it. It takes place in Utah. We have a bisexual teenager. We have a gay Mormon. It was beautiful. If you don't like contemporary romance, you're not going to like this book, because it is, at its core, just a contemporary romance. It just stars two guys, and I, for a little bit, was annoyed that it was just a contemporary romance, and I kind of wanted something more from it, but once I got to the point where I was like, you know what, just give me the romance, it became a good book, and I gave it 5 stars, and I recommend it, and it'll probably be a book that I wind up buying someday, because I do love it so much. Like, the ending just ruined me. It was so good. To continue on with that LGBT theme, I have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, because it's popped up on a couple LGBT listings on Goodreads, and so I was like, you know what, why not? Years ago, I tried reading, I think it was Attachments. I hate Attachments. I didn't like it. I was like, I'm never reading Rainbow Rowell again. I think this has something to do with her other young adult novel, not Landline, that's an adult novel, Fangirl. Never got around to reading Fangirl. Not at all interested in Fangirl, but because this has LGBTQIA+ themes, I'm going to try and read this. We'll see if this is super amazing and I want to read Fangirl, like maybe I'll go and do that, but I don't even know if I'm going to get to that one. Again, that's one of the ones that's sort of lower down on my list of things that I want to get to. Next, I have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I read this. I love this. This is another book that I will probably wind up buying because it is so good, and you need to read it if you have not. If you don't have this on your TBR, it should be. It takes place in a fictionalized Nigerian West African country. There is magic. There is adventure. If you are a fan of fantasy in any sense, there is something in this book for you. And everyone is black. Everyone is black. Everyone is black, and it made me so happy, and it gave me all my magical Wakanda vibes that I was feeling. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful, and let me tell you, the story, I'm not gonna get to my review type situation, but so good. It was on my TBR. I got to it. I was very happy. Next, I have Libba Brace, The Diviners, 1920s witches, magic of some kind. Again, it's been on BookTube since like 2012. At any point, someone has read this, someone has talked about this. I will get to it hopefully this month, and I will talk about my thoughts then. Yeah, I'm just really sad though, just a side note, that they didn't continue with this cover sort of situation, because the new rebranded covers are super ugly, so I don't think anyone likes those new ones. So I'm happy I get to look at that. Next, I have Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff's Illuminate, the first in the Illuminate files. I started reading this. I still have it currently reading on Goodreads. And, like, while I appreciate all of this fun, like-ness here, I appreciate all of that, the characters themselves in the first 40 pages are not characters I care about at all in the slightest whatsoever. So I put it down. In the meantime, I've read Children of Blood and Bone. I read another book that's coming up. Haven't gotten back to it yet. I haven't returned it. I've been back to the library a couple times since I've checked it out, and I just can't bring myself to return it. I want to read it, but I'm in no way excited to do so. Next, I have Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. It's one I'm currently reading. I'm 12 pages in. There's a vacation, there's some deception going on, there's some questionable writing. She also wrote We Were Liars. This was recommended on my library's website as like fiction I liked in 2017 that was aimed at teens. So I picked it up for that. I'm not disappointed yet, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It's short, so I'm hoping that it'll like get me through it. And it's one of my favorite genres where it's like mystery thriller, not thriller, but like, you know, fraud is going down, so there's gonna be something dramatic that happens, and I usually really appreciate that. So, and because it is short, hopefully I'll be able to push through it, especially because the most recent book I finished I was not a fan of. But next, I have Leanne Moriarty's Truly Madly Guilty. I don't know what this is about. I just know that Leanne wrote it, so I'm gonna read it because I've really been enjoying her books. It's been a couple of months since I read the last one, What Alice Forgot. I do have a video where I talk about what I've been reading recently. I don't know if I'll ever upload that video, but I will say I would not recommend reading her books back to back because they're told in a similar format. They're usually not the exact same characters every time, but they're very similar characters. They definitely feel like they would mix and mingle well together, and so when you read them back to back, it is like, I don't think it's easy to confuse them because the storylines are always very different. But it just, I didn't appreciate when I read them back to back, so I don't recommend people do that. Next, I have Meddling Kids by Edgar Quintero. This is another book that was on my library's website, another one that was recommended. I haven't read any reviews. I haven't looked into it other than the synopsis, which is basically a Scooby-Doo-esque situation, but the monsters are real. That's all I need to know because Scooby-Doo, that's where my heart is. Daphne Blake is an icon. Thelma Dinkley is a legend. Love me some Scooby-Doo. Next, I have The Hate You Give. I don't need to talk about this. You've seen this everywhere. I haven't started it yet. I'm looking forward to reading it. Looking forward to the movie. Hopefully the book is good. And then the last book that I actually have a physical copy of is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is part of the Red Rising read-along that's being hosted by the novelist Lauren and another YouTuber. I'm terrible. You know, I filmed this like 3 times. I've still never once gone to check out who the other YouTuber is because I'm just that bad. But links will be down to both their channels and the Goodreads group down below in case you're interested. There's still plenty of time to read Red Rising for the month of May. This is what we're doing this month. We're reading Red Rising. I just happened to power through it today. Pierce Brown, there's Mars, it's dystopian, questionable world building, questionable characters. I gave it 1 star on Goodreads if you don't want to watch the review, but again, it's the next book that I have here to show you. It's what I'm going to be reading. It's part of the group. And then the last book I don't actually have to show you because the person is taking their sweet time getting it to my library. It's still in transit. It's been in transit for 3 days. But it's To Kill a Kingdom by Amy Kristoff, I want to say. I could be totally wrong, so don't quote me. Link down below to the Goodreads page will be there. I don't know what it's about. I think there was mermaids. I think there's like a prince that might die. There's like it sounded intense. It had a pretty cover, so I was like, you know what, let me get that. So that's what I did. I got that. So that's what I'm reading this month. Let me know what you've been reading or what you plan to read, whatever your reading situation is down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys again soon in my next video. But until then, bye.